Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Soundodger, a game presented by Adult Swim Games and developed by Studio Bean. If you couldn't tell by the title, this is a sort of a rhythm game wrapped up in a bit of bullet hell style gameplay, and if you've watched the channel for a while, you know that I really am a huge fan of very simple pick up and play style games, sort of something like Super Hexagon, where you can spend, a few minutes with it or you can spend an hour with it trying to master it. This case, I feel this is one of those games, and I actually just spent about a minute with it. I have a feeling I'm also going to be very, very hooked to this game. So if you haven't heard of this one, well, here you go. Totally free, playable in browser, and let's just actually launch right into things, otherwise I'm just going to end up going around in circles, as they often do on the title screen. Just to give us a very quick sense of what this game is about, here's our help. Our control's super simple. Using a mouse or arrow keys, essentially we just want to steer our little ball around and avoid stuff, and then we can go into slow motion mode or use shift by, left click or shift is what I'm saying. Slow motion is available at all times, however overuse will clutter the arena. Use as needed, so the trick is the more you use it, the less score you're going to end up getting, so you want to use it as infrequently as possible, but as you're starting to get accustomed to the feeling of the game, you're probably going to have to use it quite a bit. So it's one of those games that has a lot of replay value, just in the fact that you're going to have to master it skill-wise, and also it's pretty nice to listen to as well, so you're probably going to want to try and unlock more songs and just enjoy the music as you go. So score increases when a bullet exits the arena. During normal speed, score is not increased during slow motion or after getting hit, so those are the two things you got to watch out for. I believe getting hit also puts you further forward into the song. So let's just start up a round, although I guess I should probably show you. So there's credits, visual effects, clear data, help. Here are credits. I do like to show these off pretty much all the time. Some excellent, excellent music in this game from just the couple of tracks I've heard. Did I see Terry Kavanagh? Yeah, I did. That's pretty funny. Alright, so let's jump back out and actually start it for real this time. So here are our songs to start. We only have a very small handful, then we have to, I assume, get a bunch of points to be able to progress forward, but there are a lot of songs to unlock, and as we get further down, you'll see things start to look a little bit more Super Hexagon-like, so you'll see that comparison was maybe not that strange. Let's actually just pick the first song, because I haven't actually completed an entire round yet, but this will give us a pretty good feeling of what this game is about. So imagine maybe something a little bit like Audio Surf, only set in the Waves mode of Geometry Wars 2, if that makes any sense. If you're a fan or familiar with Geometry Wars, you might know what I'm talking about. So we're just guiding around this little circle, spherical guy in the center. We want to avoid these pointed, I can't tell if they're cones or just rectangular, squared-off triangles. I already took a hit there. And they're going to form more and more complex patterns that are generated on the fly to the music. So each channel of the music is actually being represented by one of these arrows, essentially, that are shooting from them. And you'll, as you get further, you're going to run into more and more complex patterns, things that are going to become more daunting. And you'll need to adapt your skills to, stay ahead of the game, essentially. I really like the aesthetic of this game. It's super simple. It doesn't get too complicated. There's not too much to see at one time. You really only have to focus on just write what's in your way at any given moment, and you can always just do one of these if you need to slow things down, which is not really a good idea for me. Score-wise, I didn't really need it there, but as we go forward, I'm sure I'm going to need it quite a bit. It is always very challenging to try and play a rhythm game and speak at the same time. Thankfully, the actual rhythm is a little less important. I can mostly go off of just vision, and this is one of those cases when I'm going to want to guide my way through that and just be sure that I'm safe. That's a little bit of a sticky point there. Okay, there we go. You'll notice too, and I don't know if this is effective as far as the collision box, but as I move... Oh, okay, this could be a little tough. I'm not sure how to approach this. Alright, we just kind of sneak right through there. As I move my sphere around very quickly, you'll see it actually collapses upon itself a little bit, which I'm not sure if that makes your collision box smaller and you can use that to like fit through cracks on things, but I'm kind of hoping it does. Pretty generous with the collision box, though. I think it really has to intersect with the center of your character or your sphere for it to really end up being a problem for you. I also noticed, and I don't know if this is just me, I might just be totally off base here, but at times it seemed like I was able to pass through some of these shapes because of what seemed to be like an Ikaruga-style polarity switching type thing. I just noticed that my circle matched the color of some of the arrows, and obviously there's like a more turquoise seafoam style green, and then there's like a navy green or a cobalt, which both seem to be in play at the same time, and my circle right now seems to be more of a cobalt than the seafoam, so it seemed like maybe there was something going on with that, and maybe I need to pay attention, and maybe I can adapt to things if I use that wisely. I'm gonna also just try that out next time I see a light-colored triangle shooting into my way. Seems like so far everything's fine. I also like how it sort of mimics the look of like a vinyl record spinning around. Whoa, okay. I'm pretty sure I just totally just went right through that. Let's try getting... Yeah, okay, so it appears that I can actually totally intersect with those... No? Maybe I can't. I don't know, it's a little confusing. Regardless, it looks like the sound waves have all drained out, we have unlocked a new level, gotten a record, and we can even submit our score to the leaderboard if we'd like. Probably don't need to do that because I did pretty poorly there, but let's go back to the tracks. And we've unlocked 16 in Dangerous. I think I want to try this one actually, let's see what a harder one looks like. But yeah, very, very good music. The bit that I've heard has all been really enjoyable, and I would love to grab this soundtrack. I have a feeling I would listen to this whether or not I am playing Soundodger. Alright, so this one's going for a more circular pattern. That seems to be fine with me. There are also some pretty cool, like, almost three-dimensional patterns that'll start to emerge, so if you're a fan of bullet hell-style games, you might notice some of these patterns are very elaborate and look like they took quite a while to script. So I think that's a very cool addition to not only have, you know, the various colors flying around, but also some three-dimensional styles to the patterns of what these, we're going to call them bullets, I guess, can do. Really love this radiating orange sound wave thing coming out from the center, and then the fact that when I engage my slow-mo, everything turns into the opposite color scheme there. Some really lovely visual design here. I mean, it's one of those cases where it's simply just not overstated, like it doesn't need to do a whole lot to be effective, and the developers chose to really just stick to what really complements it and plays to the strengths of the game without, you know, going too far. You don't need to over-embellish something like this. It's already setting up a pretty good framework for itself just by being the gameplay convention, so why go further than you need to go, you know? So we've got a pattern that almost feels like it's jiving really well with the actual feeling of the music, which is something I can totally get into. We've actually got a little bit of like a revolving, almost heart-shaped cubby hole that we were able to spin around in. I have to say this level doesn't even feel quite as hard as the first level, so I'm not sure if there is definitely a linear difficulty progression here. But then again, things might be ramping up for a much more difficult later act. We shall see. Now we've got sort of a looping hook pattern going on both sides, and they're trying to pin me in the center, I think, because that hook seems to be expanding to encompass the whole area, so you had to make a little clever play there at the end. Sometimes it almost feels like you're playing a runner game in that you almost need to anticipate what the pattern's going to be before you actually get to that point and try to strategically think your way around it. Something that I really love. I actually really like that idea. So we're back to a revolving circular pattern now. Gonna try and stay around those edges. All the levels I've seen so far, which have just been 3 in my short time playing with this, have all been similar projectiles. There haven't been really, you know, that they mixed up that. So I suppose going forward you'll just be, you know, seeing more of that. But I am very curious to see how they mix up the color schemes and how things continue to complement the music going forward. So I'd say a fairly successful run on that one. 97%, I feel like that's well done. New level unlocked, new record, and you can see just from this little bit of me playing, this would definitely have a tendency to become somewhat addictive. Forgotten Tea by Life Formed, and that has 2 spheres on the scale of 5 there, so I have a feeling that one is actually going to be harder. Maybe this is the simplest of things, and we can actually play in Zen mode once we finish something. I'm kind of curious what that means. I'm gonna guess maybe no scoring. Maybe we can just, you know, meander around. Maybe we can't get hurt or something like that. Or maybe the song will just keep playing over and over again. You can just relax and listen to it. Let's put that to the test. Let's see. Okay, so that indicates that there was a hit made if I wander into that bullet. It's a nice touch. I really like that. It also gives you another incentive to want to beat every level. Even once you've unlocked them all, you'll want to go back and try to accomplish whatever it is that unlocks Zen mode. There's a chance it might just be for finishing the level, but it also might be you have to attain a certain level of skill on that level for it to unlock. I'm not sure. I feel like getting, what was it, 82% or whatever I had on this one is not too terrible. So, I'm not really trying to dodge them at this point since we're in Zen mode. So I guess I'll just let this play out, as I often do as we finish up the episode. I think Soundodger is freaking fun, so I highly recommend give it a try. Totally free, in-browser game. Anyone can play it at any time. Link's going to be right in the description for this one. Yeah, just tell a friend, have a good time, see how far you can get in it. I'm kind of curious to know how hard the levels get when you get to the end. But given what I've seen in some of the boss encounters in bullet hell games, I'm sure they have a few tricks up their sleeve. So also, I guess if you unlock Zen mode, that's a really nice way to be able to listen to the soundtrack without having to actively engage in the game. Not like engaging in the game is a bad thing, but, you know, at the same time, kind of cool to be able to just listen to it passively. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Very much recommend checking this one out, and I hope you guys enjoy playing it. So, as always, if you want to check out more in the series, head on over to my website, indie-impressions.com. We've got over 400, and I think we're getting close to 430 now, episodes, and going strong. They are all neatly categorized for your perusal if you have a specific genre in mind, or if you want to type in a favorite developer, or want to search by platform or payment style. Those are all options you can do over at that website. Also, check out the forums. I also do a little system where you can earn pixels by interacting with the community, and you can actually end up redeeming those for free games. So, a little incentive to hang out over there. I also have a Facebook page for the series, facebook.com/indieimpressions. If you'd like to leave a like over there, it just takes a second. It does help me out, helps me spread the word to everybody. I do post most of the time whenever I'm streaming over there, as well as every day's new episode, occasional contests and game giveaways. So, you know, it never hurts, provided you're somebody who uses Facebook, and if you're not, no problem. I also do have a Twitter account, which is, the Twitter handle rather, is @RockLeeSmile, so if you want to say hey, feel free to anytime. I'm pretty much open to talk to anybody about anything, so if you want to, you know, leave me a comment, suggestion, question, whatever it is, I will likely answer you, provided I am not inundated with questions at the moment, which sometimes happens, and sometimes Twitter just doesn't actually have all the tweets show up for whatever reason. Not sure what that's about, but just a common thing that I've seen other people say as well. So yeah, that's going to pretty much do it, guys. If you're an indie dev, feel free to get in contact with me about the possibility of showing off your game on the channel. I forgot to mention I also have a contact form over on indie-impressions.com, so if you want to reach me, that's another way to do that as well. So thanks very much for watching, guys. Hopefully you go check this one out. See, I got 100%. I'm that good at the game. We'll go back out to the title screen. And please make sure you come back again tomorrow. I do a new episode of this every single day, without exception, and with your guys' support, I will continue to do so for a long, long time to come. So please do, you know, tell a friend about the series, the best thing you could possibly do. Interact. Leave comments if you're, you know, if you have anything to say about this game. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. I'm always looking for styles of games simple like this, stuff that's easy to get into, that's visually engaging, very entertaining, and just simple to pick up and play. So if you know something, feel free to suggest it. I'm always open to suggestions from anybody, whether you're an indie dev or not. You know, whatever you're doing, I'm always up for it. So, thanks again. Hope you have a lovely night, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.